I think that's it. I think that's it for Luis Ortiz. I think the sun is going to go down on my man. So I'm interested to see these scorecards. Now, let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to listen to the cards, watch some brief highlights, talk about the fight, talk about what's next. And it's looking like if Deontay Wilder defeats Robert Helenius on October the 15th, also on PBC on Fox pay-per-view, we're going to see Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz likely maybe Cinco de Mayo next year. Look at his sad-ass family, Luis Ortiz. I mean, at least he didn't get knocked out, because I remember he got knocked out in front of his daughter by Deontay Wilder and his girl, and he was down there fucked up. But, you know, I don't think Luis Ortiz should retire unless he don't want to, unless he's like, you know what, I only want to fight on big, you know, like big stages. But Andy Ruiz clearly won this fight. 2 knockdowns in round number 2. One of them shouldn't have been a knockdown, in my opinion, the second one. And then he was knocked down again in round number 7. And what you saw was every time that Luis Ortiz tried to engage with Andy Ruiz is when his ass lost. I mean, is when his ass got, like, really bust. So the lack of punch variety and punch output from Luis Ortiz, along with the age and lack of speed, because he's listed at 43 years old. But the motherfucker like 53 for real. But nonetheless, still great skill. That's the first knockdown, right on the top of the head. Look, folded him real bad. And then this is the second one, and I don't think this should have been a knockdown, in my personal opinion. You guys let me know. It was almost like his legs kind of gave out because they still wasn't under him from the first time he got knocked down. And then, look, they are in that's despair. And he almost took Andy Ruiz's head off multiple times. Look, watch this. Bang. I mean, it was a tense fight. Replay value is really, really low. Here was that third knockdown. Watch this. No, this was the story of the fight. Every time he would try to get in on the inside against Andy, you know, things would go not well for him. And, you know, I mean, can you say that Luis Ortiz is done on top level? I think it's safe to say he's done on top level. You know, he's done on top level. This guy's had 3 pay-per-views, one of them against Charles Martin, who fought earlier in the night in a dark-ass arena to open up a YouTube stream. Let's listen to the cards. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. Please drop a like. Let's try to get to 500. Not doing this for our health. Let's go listen in.
We go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge of ringside, Fernando Villarreal scores the bout 113 to 112. Judges Eddie Hernandez Sr. and Zachary Young both scored the bout 114 to 111. All 3 in favor of the
winner close for
of the
me.
WBC Heavyweight World Title Eliminator, the Destroyer, Andy Ruiz.
Scorecards were telling, though, fellas, in that Ortiz won a bunch of rounds and made that close. Those are 3 knockdowns, 3 points.
Y'all think
Ruiz wins by
Luis Ortiz gonna give us the speech?
Yeah. Sounds like decent scoring. Ortiz certainly did some work.
Look at these nasty punch stats.
The harder shots were landed by Ruiz, but
78 of 428 thrown, 76 for Luis Ortiz, 76 of 287.
I'd like to hear Larry Hazard's actual final scorecard. But go ahead, right there.
Nasty stats. Yeah, I think it's time for him to hang him up, guys.
111 Ruiz. Okay. So gave your share of rounds to Luis Ortiz. But
Yeah, Charles Martin won earlier.
And I'm taking it back. I'm not calling it a disputed knockdown. That second knockdown was a knockdown.
Let's listen in. Damn. Uncle Junior's finished. Let's listen in.
With Luis Ortiz. Go ahead, Ray.
Thank you very much, Brian, alongside Luis King Kong Ortiz. Luis, can you tell us your ability to remain in the fight despite being knocked down several times by Andy Ruiz?
Bueno, yo dije que venía a guerrear y esto fue una gran guerra, sí. Cuba-México, estuvo buena la guerra, me gustó.
I told you I was going to be a warrior. I love this. This is Cuba-Mexico. This is a war.
How would you assess your performance? It was a close fight on the scorecards, but how would you assess your overall outing here tonight?
Nada, vine a hacer trabajo, ¿sabes? Todo, como dice, el boxeo está lleno de sorpresas. No se logró hacer el trabajo que al máximo, pero bueno, a toda la gente que dicen que King Kong está viejo, yo doy guerra, yo estoy dando una guerra y bueno, estuve ahí.
For everybody that said that King Kong is old, well, I gave you a war today. So boxing, there's always a surprise, but I felt I did a great fight tonight.
Did your left eye give you any issues in regards to your vision in the fight?
Bueno, estuve trabajando mi mano adelante y pienso que estuvo bien. Me gustaría una revancha porque esa guerra me gusta.
I love those. I would want a rematch. I was keeping my hands up, but the eye wasn't a problem.
Being able to compete and go head-to-head against Andy Ruiz at this level, do you still want to continue in your prize-fighting career?
Bueno, ¿qué tú crees? Si lo que viste hoy, ¿tú crees que yo no doy guerra, que yo estoy listo para terminar? ¿Qué tú opinas?
What do you do? The question is, you think I'm done? I mean, you saw a warrior tonight.
¿Qué opina la gente?
What do the people want? Do they think King Kong is done?
I think we'd love to
I
see
think
you
you're done,
back,
motherfucker.
Luis. Congratulations on a valiant effort. Heidi, on to you.
Thank you very much, Ray. You can't question the heart of Luis Ortiz. Congratulations, though, to you, Andy Ruiz. Let's start with the second round. You knocked him down twice. What was going through your mind? You know you can't count a guy like Luis Ortiz out.
Yes, free King Vasquez.
I want to thank God because without him, nothing's possible.
Gotta thank Al Heyman.
Man, since the jump, I thought everybody thought they were doubting me that I was going to get my ass knocked out and whatnot. But to tell you the truth, I worked so hard for this fight because I know he's a warrior. He hits hard, and I thought I did a beautiful job boxing him around, and I thought I showed some different class that I usually do instead of just
Thanks for the super chat, Yo-Yo.
going forward.
Most definitely. I was going to actually ask you, was it difficult? How difficult was it to force the action, given that he was the first southpaw you faced as a professional?
It was pretty difficult, man, but the ability that I have of me counter-punching and waiting for him to load up and me counter him and connecting and dropping him, it was a blessing, man. I just want to thank God so much.
Well, congratulations to you. You've said throughout this campaign for this fight, you said you have to stay disciplined, stay focused, and stay active. What does staying active mean to you, given the landscape of this heavyweight division?
Staying active, man. I do not want to be waiting so long
How
until
dare
I
you.
fight. I want to fight at least 3-4 times a year. I'm ready, man. I'm hungry. I want to be champion again and bring that belt back to Mexico.
We have a fight. Deontay Wilder returns to take on Robert Helenius in New York on October 15th. Should he become victorious on that night? Is that the fight you want next?
You know what?
The winner of that fight.
God willing, he wins. Robert in October, and you know, me and him are in the same organization. I want to thank Al Heyman. He can make this fight happen, and let's do it. Let's get it on.
Congratulations to you, Andy. Brian, back to you.
Well, that'd be a fascinating clash, no question. And look, just to back it up, I know it was nearly 3 years ago. So you look at Deontay Wilder here ringside. But again,
Why
Luis
y'all
Ortiz
bullying me
was
in the
winning
chat?
most every round,
That ain't
not
cool,
every
man.
round
I'm sensitive.
on
I'm a human
Deontay
being.
Wilder, nearly 3 years ago, before Deontay Wilder knocked him out with one shot.
So let's talk.
So again, if you're thinking, all right,
If I was to rate that Andy Ruiz performance, I'm going to give him a 7. Oh, they got Deontay Wilder in the ring. I'm going to give it a 7. Well, let's see what Deontay Wilder has to say.
All right.
I bet you it's going to be some long-ass speech.
Bronze Bomber made his way into the ring. I have a feeling you have something to say to Mr. Ruiz.
I mean, it was a great fight. It was a hell of a fight, and this is where all the fans came to see a magnificent fight, and that is exactly what these guys gave you, a great fight. So that right there deserved all the respect. And, you know, the gameplay, I always have love for Ortiz because we shared the ring and what we're doing it for our daughters and the situation that we was in. You know, I always have love for him. And he came with a game plan, and it seemed like he executed the game plan. And much love to him, and, you know, we wish nothing but the best for him moving forward.
Is that the fight you would want next should you be victorious on October 15th?
I mean, Deontay Wilder's back. You know, he always looking for great, exciting fights. That's what he loved to get the fans. So if that's what lined up next, I got to handle the business. Out of that, man, we can get it on.
We'll be looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Deontay. Brian, back to you.
How do you think that fight goes? Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. And I do think Wilder has a chin, because he has taken some beatings, even though he did get stopped, by Fury, in the first fight. In the second fight, his team stopped it. Rumors of egg weight shape form, allegations of egg weight shape form, and spiked water. But that power is no myth. And I think he can put down Andy. Do I think he can beat Andy? I don't know, because what's going to happen if Andy crowds his space? Can Deontay Wilder keep Andy off of him if Andy decides to play the pressure fighter? I don't know. But LD says Andy performance a B+. A B+, I can't. I'm like a B. I'm about a B. I'm at about a B on a plus minus scale. Not a B minus, not a B+, because that's close to an A. But for me personally, I'm going to give him a B. He did get 3 knockdowns. Let me give him a B. But now let's talk about the heavyweight division. If you don't know, where does Luis Ortiz go? You think he's done? I don't think he's going to retire, because he was talking about rematches and shit. I don't think he's going to retire. But he's damn sure done at like this type of top level. Looking at the rankings here, Tyson Fury, hopefully him and Alexander Usyk are going to fight. It's looking like they're in some talks. Him and Alexander Usyk for undisputed. Deontay Wilder's taking on Robert Helenius next month, October the 15th. Michael Hunter and Hughie Fury are fighting. Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker are fighting to be the WBO mandatory. That's going to happen on September the 24th. We're going to be streaming during that. We're going to be streaming. Look, folded him, put him down. Ooh, big body shot. That hurt. Looked like that hurt. Anthony Joshua may fight Felix Hergovitz or Zhilei Zhang next. Anthony Joshua lost to Alexander Usyk, had that meltdown in the ring. You can listen to me and my colleagues' thoughts on that on our Fight View 360 boxing podcast. The link is right there in the chat. And as we're looking at the rankings here, by the way, the Wilder Helenius card on October the 15th is looking like it's going to be, well, it was pretty much announced that it's going to be Deontay Wilder versus Robert Helenius, Caleb Plant versus Anthony Dirrell, and Frank Sanchez versus Carlos Negron, who that was announced basically, by Joe Goosen, who's training Frank Sanchez. And we're waiting for the 4th fight for the card. It's going to be $74.99 again on PBC on Fox pay-per-view. So you got Dylan White, who's flirting with signing with Sky Sports over in the UK. Also, Joshua's option, he can possibly fight Otto Wallin. And that's the heavyweight division. Gerald Miller is likely going to be fighting Lucas Brown if he wins his next fight. But Andy Ruiz, I'm not ready to say Andy Ruiz beats Deontay Wilder. I'm not ready to say that. But I do think that Luis Ortiz is done on top level. For example, do you feel that Luis Ortiz can be a world champion? That ship has sailed, right? It's gone. So who does Luis Ortiz fight in the top? Okay, so, Luis Ortiz, if he's going to stick around for a couple of years, who is he going to fight that you're going to be like, for example, would you entertain Luis Ortiz versus Frank Sanchez? I don't know. Luis Ortiz versus if he's done with PBC, after this, there's fights for him. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, Gerald Big Baby Miller is ranked by the fucking WBA. That fight he fought a few months ago, that was on a WBA card. That's why I feel, OJ, that he's going to fight the Chinaman in China. I believe he's going to fight Otto Wallin possibly next, and then do the big fight with Zhilei Zhang, meaning Anthony Joshua in China. That's what I think is going to be next. You know, or they may go to China next. Who knows? But I don't know about Luis Ortiz. I think he cooked. I think he cooked because I'm looking. Frank Sanchez will beat him. I'll probably fuck around and beat him. You know, because like the way he looked in there tonight, I can't say that he looked older, but he looked really, really limited. You know, and at his age, whatever the hell his age is, as I said, he's listed on BoxRec as 43. But, you know, word on the street is he can be as high as fucking 53 years old. Some shit like that. But still very impressive. He ain't fighting no Gerald Anderson. And I don't think that he's going to, you think he's going to be a gatekeeper? I don't know. I don't know, guys. But overall, I did enjoy this card. We got a post-fight press conference coming up later on. It'd be great if you guys can drop a like before you go so we can try to get to 700. We just got over a shadow ban about like 4 or 5 months ago. So our videos are finally starting to get promoted again by YouTube. But overall, I did like this card. You had the card open up with Rayo Valenzuela getting beat up by Edwin Santos. You had Miguel Flores and Abner Maris battle to a draw. A lot of people thought that Miguel Flores won the fight. Abner Maris coming off of a 4+ year layoff. And he did a whole lot of moving. Then you had Cruz put a boot in Eduardo Ramirez's ass. And then you had Prince Charles Martin open up a YouTube stream. The very first fight on the card, not pay-per-view, not on FS1 and not on Fox. So here's how it worked tonight. They had a YouTube stream for an hour, 6 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern, they had they were on FS1 with Ruiz Salim versus Mike Planea. At 8 p.m. Eastern, they had Joey Spencer on regular free TV Fox. Joey Spencer taking on Kevin Sagado, and then the pay-per-view started at 9. But they put Charles Martin on the free YouTube like version, bro. And he just fought on pay-per-view January the 1st. So it's like, who did you piss off to go from being on pay-per-view to fighting in the empty arena on YouTube? Wild. So listen, guys, I got to get up out of Venezuela. I know I keep saying that, my bad. Valenzuela. I know, my bad. I know how to say, listen, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I keep Venezuela. I'm sorry. Valenzuela. All right, we got it. My bad, but I'm exhausted. For real. And we got a post-fight press conference that we got to cover. But my website, FightView360.com, our rankings are updated monthly in accordance to the sanctioning bodies. Boom. Another thing, you know, hopefully they'll possibly do, you know, which I don't think they're going to do it. Basically, if Deontay Wilder beats Robert Helenius and Andy Ruiz and Wilder fight sometime in April and May of 2023, then listen, the winner of that got to fight Joshua, right? Don't you think that makes sense? Because it'll be a third fight for Andy Ruiz and Joshua, and it'll be the first fight for Joshua Wilder. But personally, I think it's time for them to make Joshua Wilder. Me personally. You know, like, why fuck up all that money? Here is the pay-per-view, the next one, $74.99. Robert Helenius is a longtime sparring partner of Deontay Wilder. I hate when fighters fight their fucking sparring partners. It's just off-putting to me. So listen, Boxing Nerd super chat. Boxing Nerd says, Andy couldn't get around the jab tonight. Wilder could jab his face off to a UD or late KO if he doesn't let Andy in on the inside. That is true. But remember what Tyson Fury said leading up to the Deontay Wilder fight. Deontay Wilder will do all that boxing shit, you know, and he can jab. We first saw it really with the first Bermain Stavern fight. But Wilder can jab. Yes, he can. Remember, even in the third Fury fight, he was jabbing the shit out of Fury, especially to the stomach. But I keep saying Venezuela. Valenzuela. There you go. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Get off my back, man. Oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Like, fucked him up. But eventually, Wilder reverts back to his old self. You see what I'm saying? He reverts back to his old self. That's the problem I have with Deontay Wilder. He can jab you, but then he just, the windmill. But if Deontay Wilder, he's not good on the inside. So if Andy Ruiz is able to cut that distance, and another thing about Deontay Wilder is he has to load up that bomb, that right hand he has. If you take that away from him, and not let him load up or paw with that jab like he does to line you up and straight down the pipe, then you have a good chance. But I really feel that Andy Ruiz may bite the dust. And I'm not confident that he can beat Andy Ruiz. But I'm thinking that, he might be able to, like hit him with some shit. But listen, guys, let me get up out of here because I got to take a break. We'll take my dog out and we got to do the post-fight press conference. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for watching. Please take a time out, like the video, subscribe. Next week is a big fight between Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields. We're going to be streaming during that big women's fight. That's going to be here in the States on ESPN Plus, over in the UK on Sky Sports. Also on my Fight View 360 boxing podcast. We're going to be putting out some exclusive episodes on all of this stuff. Next week, here, let me copy all of this.